Hey guys, welcome back to Fight Tonight channel. The fight between Gervonta Davis and Frank Martin seems close to becoming real. Early this month, the Baltimore native seemingly confirmed the fight would transpire on June 22nd. However, what got people even more excited was his new shredded physique. The undefeated boxer turned to social media, sharing a clip of himself after a grueling workout, flaunting his physique. So his upcoming opponent Martin did the same. Early today, the Ghost Martin took to his social media and shared a clip showcasing his ripped physique from his gym. The clip was later picked up by boxing media, who posted the clip on the social media platform. They captioned the post, "Frank Martin looking ripped leading up to his bout against Gervonta." As of the time I was reading, the fight has not been officially confirmed, but both fighters have hinted at ongoing talks. If the fight gets made, it could be possibly transpire at the Ramoré Toyota Center in Houston. Davis has reported signs his 7th round knockout victory over Ryan Garcia in April last year. Due to his legal troubles, which saw him in house arrest, the WBA lightweight champion had to stay out of the ring for over a year. Meanwhile, even Martin didn't see much action in 2023. While Davis fought Ryan Garcia and Dr. Luis Garcia last year, Martin only fought once against Artem Kharatunyan. The lightweight eliminator fight saw a close encounter, with Martin taking home the win after 12 rounds of battle. So the question is Frank Martin ready for Gervonta Davis? As far as Martin is concerned, he has already left a mark on Tank Davis in their previous encounter. Gervonta Davis delivered warning to Frank Martin. Amid all the speculations about the fight between Martin and Davis, the former appeared in an interview with Nagy in Cigar Talk. While there, Nagy probed Martin about his previous sparring session with Davis, where Martin allegedly got hurt. So Martin clarified that nothing of the sort happened when they sparred with each other. Martin revealed that it was actually him who hurt Gervonta Davis during the sparring session. So, when Davis got wind of Martin's bold claims during the interview, he hoped on social media to set the record straight. In a now-deleted tweet, Davis wrote, "Keep talking, I'm uploaded the video." Moreover, even though Martin suggested the sparring footage does exist, it has not been made public yet. By the looks of things, the fight between Gervonta Davis and Frank Martin seems all but confirmed. However, there is always the possibility of things going south. So only time will tell whether Davis returns to the ring in June or if his hiatus extends further. Who do you think would win? Does Martin stand a chance? Isaac Cruz, title-winning stoppage of Rolly Romero last month, has earned him a request on a quick turnaround title defense in August. Cruz's manager told Boxing Sense, "Pitbull wants to get back in the ring and stay busy," Sean Gibbons, Cruz's manager, said as he and Cruz provided interviews and toured Mexican television networks. "Down here, it's not Beatlemania, it's Pitbullmania," Gibbons said. "People are reading songs for him, creating models for him, it's something." Cruz captured the WBA junior welterweight belt on March 13 when he stopped Romero in the 8th round with a barrage of power blows to the head. Cruz, 25, retreated back to Mexico to celebrate and visit his family. There, he and Gibbons learned they have the blessing of premier boxing champions and Southern California-based promoter TGB Promotions to stage an early August card that Cruz will headline against an opponent yet to be finalized. The brief layoff is something Cruz's famous promoter Manny Pacquiao also thought. Manny wants activity to keep his momentum going, Gibbons said in reference to Cruz's position in a lower division. which count unbeaten Gervonta Davis and Devin Haney, IBF title holder Sabriel Matias, and WBO title holder Teofimo Lopez as 140 pounds rivals. December is perfect, Gibbons said. We are not chasing Tank Davis now that we have the belt, but everywhere we go, everyone wants to know when we are fighting Gervonta Davis. He will fight, then Pitbull will fight, and we will be ready, Gibbons said. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel.